What's up? What's up? It's the Arthur Moats Experience with Deke. I'm Arthur Moats, and that's my main man, Deke.
What's up, man?
Man, long time no see, baby.
I know, dude.
I ain't gonna lie, I missed you, man. I said it doesn't feel right. I ain't seen Deke in a whole, 6-7 days. Like, yeah.
Dude, I'm happy you said that. I guess I appreciate you saying that. Because I told you off the mic, you're like, how was your week? I was like, dude, I had no clue what to do with myself. I had no clue. So yeah, I missed you too, man.
I appreciate that, man. It was different. I was like, because, man, we've been going at it hard.
Yeah.
For the longest time now. Seeing each other multiple days throughout the week, always in conversation and things like that.
Yeah, it was weird because going into the week, part of me was thinking, all right, this could be cool. Like, I don't want to be taking a break. Right. I never do, but I guess it could be good for health or whatever.
Charge.
Yeah, but then like 2 days into the week, I'm like, what the frick? I don't know what to do.
I was sitting on the boat one day and I'm like, dang.
I just want to record.
I need to record. We got to talk. We got stuff to talk about, man. What's going on right now? All this information, all this exciting stuff. And I'm like, dang, we got to wait. And then my signal is terrible, so I can't even like communicate back. You trying to send me a video. I'm like, bro, this is not downloading at all.
It didn't come through.
No, like it showed up that you sent it. Could not download it. I had to wait till I got back on land, man. But yeah, it was, you got to go on the next cruise though, man. I told you off the mic, man. The fans, someone still in the nation was like, yo, where is Deke at? Is Deke on the cruise? I'm like, nah, man, Deke ain't out here. He's like, yo, you need to have Deke next time, and y'all can record an episode either on the boat or on one of these islands. And I was like, man. I said to myself, I was like, man, you know, when I looked at like First Take and all these other like shows, especially like Super Bowl weekend, they were down in Miami. I was like, yo, we could. So I instantly got the pun. I was like, you know what? We're going to have to make something like this happen next year, baby.
That would be sick as hell. Yeah, man. That would be sick. But I do want to comment or ask you a little bit about the cruise.
Yeah, man.
Because I saw things popping up on my IG stories. Mm-hmm. And, well, first, let me just ask, what was your favorite part of the trip?
Oh, man. So I guess my favorite part would have been, in my most selfish, biased way, my retirement party. They did a roast for me.
Okay.
And it was crazy, man. So it was hosted by Tunch and Wolf. So Tunch Ilk and Craig Wolfley, former Steelers. Yeah, and I'm trying to think the guys who participated in it: Jordan Dangerfield, Troy Edmonds, Cam Sutton, Cam Hayward, Charlie Batch, Ola Daney. Like, it was nuts, man. I haven't laughed that hard in a minute. I haven't sweat that hard in a minute. It was crazy, and I'm talking, it was packed out. Like, we were joking when we first set up the event, when the cruise people were talking to me about it, and we're like, you know, since it's not like the main thing, it's a one-off, like separate thing, we're having like a smaller venue. So you have like a big auditorium or whatever, and then you have these decent sized rooms. Think like almost like a lounge, like a club lounge type thing. So we were like, yeah, we just put it in the lounge. So that way, you know, people that show up, cool. We're thinking like maybe a couple hundred people. No, like literally it was probably like 1,000 people packed into this super tiny room. Yeah, but it was a blast, man.
You're popular, man.
Yeah, man. I really felt humbled, man, that all those people showed up for the boys, man. I was like, all right. And then I got to do the walk through the crowd. I felt real legendary. I felt like Kanye West when he shows up to some of his events. He likes to walk through the crowd. He's like, nah, let the people touch me. So literally everybody come in there, everybody set up, and they're playing my one of my interviews from when I had announced my retirement in Latrobe early this offseason. And the crowd's like, yo, where's Moats at? And they do my intro, and I walk out through the back, through the crowd. Oh, there he is. I was like, dang. I just felt real official, real big time, man, walking through like that. And then, like I said, man, they let me have it in that roast. It was awesome though, man.
Well, that's what I was seeing on the IG stories. What was the best joke, or what was the best comment?
Oh, man. Well, first off, the compliment that everybody said was, it's hard to say anything negative about me. So I was like, okay, that's good. But my dog Cam Hayward, he probably got me the most. He said something along the lines of, you know, no Moats has been playing here, all these years and stuff like that. But how many times is he going to retire? I felt like he announced retirement on Twitter one year. Then he came back and announced it as a Steeler another time. Now he's hosting a party. I mean, it's the only dude I know plays 9 years, but retires 3 times and has 3 separate events for that. And I was like, dang, Cam. And everybody's like laughing hard. I'm like, it wasn't that funny. First off, like, what y'all trying to say? You know what I mean? And then so he got on me about that. Then he's like, I mean, then I'm looking at the teams and he's telling me he wants to retire as a Steeler. And I'm like, well, who else would he retire for? Buffalo? Arizona, like, nah, man, you Pittsburgh, like, what you talking about? I'm like, all right, everybody's laughing. I'm like, all right, now easy, guys. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm sensitive here. And then they start talking about my attire and how me and Terrell Edmonds probably could wear the same size pants because my pants were so tight. I told them they weren't tight, they just fitted. I like fitted clothes, you know what I mean? So that became a running joke for the rest of the cruise. I got Ola walking up to me talking about, hey, man, hey, can you pull your pants off, dude? And I'm like, yeah, I know. So it was a good time though, man. And then, the other running joke was the fact that anybody that and Ryan Shazier, he also had sent the video for me for the roast and everything like that. But the one thing that I always laughed about was how all the guys, when they were describing me, you know, most people are like, oh man, it's a fun guy, he's a young guy, you know, he's super cool, this and that. No. I was called, man, I thought this dude was a coach when I first met him. I thought this dude was like a big brother. He's more of a father figure. These are all the words they're using for me. Basically all old superlatives. And I was not feeling that at all. Like
who was saying this? People on the cruise? Or
no, like players? in my roast.
Oh,
so literally Jordan Dangerfield, he starts off, he's like, you know, man, me and Moats go back to college, you know what I'm saying, playing against each other. Then we get to Buffalo. And it's his 4th year, it's my first year. But when I first met him, I'm seeing all these other guys. I'm like, okay, that guy's from here. That's a player. He said, when I first seen Moats, I thought he was one of the coaches, though.
No way.
I looked at him and was like, dang, like, what does he coach? Linebackers, safeties? Like, who is this old guy? I'm like, whoa. And then so I'm like, all right. So then that goes by. So then Cam Sutton gets up and he starts talking. He's like, hey, man, you know, Moats is always like that big brother that we always wanted. I mean, you can ask him anything. You go to him, he's always gonna give you straight wisdom and knowledge and great conversation. I'm like, dang, bro, like that's not what I'm going for right now. But all right, I'm gonna roll with it. Then Shazier gets up there, he's talking. And he's like, yeah, man, you know, I always looked up to Moats. He's kind of like that father figure to me, man. And I was like, whoa, all right now,
You're
man.
like 5 years older.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, we ain't that, man. Like, look, it's a 4-year difference, bro. Like, if I get another old big brother, coach, dad, any more of that, like, I'm gonna feel some type of way. So that's what I got a lot of in that roast as well, man.
Man.
Yeah.
Because you're probably wondering, is that based off my looks?
Or how I like my demeanor. Like, I was really concerned for a while, man.
I mean, you would want demeanor more than looks, definitely.
Absolutely.
But I see at the same time, you don't want people to think you're this really serious person all the time.
True, yeah.
I mean, you do have Moats Theory of Life, this book that has the wisdom, the nuggets, and
but it still has a funny tone to it. Like, you could laugh a little bit in that book. Yeah. I was like, dang, going, man. I appreciate my guys, but man.
What was it? Some self-reflection, though? Were you thinking, if everyone's saying this?
Look, I started thinking to myself, no. Then somebody said I dressed like a cool dad because I had like the tight pants on. I had the you know what I'm saying? I'm on the beach, so I got like the island shirt with the chest out, the jewels on.
You do got that look, because, I mean, you got all the J's, the kicks.
Yeah, man. They said you probably one of those dads that got like the super cool young kids and you want to dress hit with everybody, probably wear Supreme all the time. I'm like, dude, like, this is crazy. So yeah, that was, like I said, my best part though of that cruise, man, was that roast, because they said, man, having my family there, having all the Still Nation, having my teammates there. I mean, just the stories that were being told. And when you hear the story, you instantly go back and like, man, I remember this. Like, I know for a fact about this. So yeah, it was good, man.
That's awesome, dude.
I mean, shoot. I'm going on and on about these stories.
No.
Even
dude,
Charlie,
I want to keep hearing. Yeah.
I'm about to say, even Charlie Batch, so he was talking about this story of me and him. We do a lot of the youth football camps together for the Steelers. And we always got these 7-on-7 tournaments at the end. And we're both kind of like the one seeds each time we play. Like, all right, he's killing everybody, I'm killing everybody. But we never get to match up. And we had to match up one time. So he talks about how anytime he's seen me play, like with these kids, we're hurry up offense, tempo, sprint to the line. I'm trying to drop 70 on you, right? But then he's the same type of way. So he's hurry up, but he's throwing bombs. So like, it's going, I mean, he's an NFL quarterback, right? So what it takes me to doing 3 plays, he's doing it 1 play. So I was already scouting him and everything like that. So we finally get to play for the championship, right? Big time game. We're going back and forth. I end up getting a lead on him. It's 2 minutes left in the game. We get the ball back.
Is it that defense?
Now. So yeah, I got an interception, right? So it was crazy. But this would really set it off. So I told you we like to go fast break on the football field, hurry up offense, think Oregon, right? I instantly turn into Big Ten ball. We slowing it down, eating the clock up. This is 7-7, and I'm talking like these are 10-year-olds that we're playing with. 7-on-7, 10-year-olds. I'm milking the clock. No, it's flag.
Okay,
so I'm starting to milk the clock now. Like I said, we up 1. We're up 1. 2 minutes left in the game. And we've been going back and forth. I get my turnover. I tell my kids, hey, look, man, anytime you catch the ball, stay down, take forever to get up. So now, instead of me throwing it 40 yards on the field, we're dinking dunking. 2-yard pass here, 3-yard pass there, slowly eating the clock. Chuck is going crazy on the sideline. Yo, man, throw the ball, man. This, man. Come on, man. And I'm over here.
That sounds like
dink
me.
It, dunk it, dink it, dunk it. I'm talking, hey, man, you hit the ground. Take your time getting up. I had 2 kids legit fake injuries on the drive as well. Hey, you all right? So he absolutely loses it.
Oh, my.
We end up winning the game. He doesn't shake my hand, doesn't talk to me. He just jets out. And literally, this was I'm trying to think. This would have been in June.
Oh my!
And I didn't get a chance to talk to him again until probably like October that year. Like he would not speak. He was like just cold shoulder to me. So he's telling this story, man, and I'm dying laughing because I remember like vividly his face. Like he's getting heated, and I'm like, "Hey kids, this is an NFL quarterback we beating right here. This what we doing to an NFL guy right here. How y'all feel about that?" And I'm just slowly dinking and dunking. And he's like, "Man, who does that? Who strategizes? Who eats the clock up in a 7-on-7 with 10-year-olds? Like who does that?"
Wow.
And I was like, "Man, I want to win. You know, you got to do whatever it takes, baby."
I see both sides.
Yeah.
I see both sides.
Heated though. Heated. Like when I tell you, like usually, like, and this is my guy. Like me comes to my game. Like obviously me coaching my oldest daughter's basketball team, comes to multiple games. Like we're always at each other's events. Like this is what we do. When I tell you that man didn't talk to me, didn't dap me up, no hugs, no nothing. Like I'm out straight to the car. Like that's what the vibe was, man.
Wow. I feel what he was doing there, though. Man, it's flag football. Come on, let's just play the game. Just play the game. That's
only way to benefit you.
Exactly. That's why I said I see both sides, because if I was in your shoes, I would be trying to win too.
Yeah, man. We ended up getting that turnover. I was like, oh, it's over. 2-minute offense. Hey. Defense, take your shoes off, man. Y'all ain't come back on the field. Y'all ain't gonna see the ball no more.
Wow. That's a good story, man.
Yeah, it was a blast though, man. Like I said, thoroughly enjoyed myself on that crew. My family had a blast. Still Nation was awesome. And it was just an awesome group of guys. Some of the guys, I mean, it was 18 of us. I don't remember everybody's name, but I know current guys, Zach Banner, who was absolutely hilarious. I mean, y'all heard the podcast episode that he came on earlier this year. Was nuts. If y'all want to check it out, you can go on the YouTube channel on the podcast page. He was hilarious, start to finish. Like, just
I'm sure
unreal. Obviously, I tell you about Ola, Charlie Batch. He's not current, but he's still in the younger realm.
Right.
Jordan Dangerfield was up there as well. Terrell Edmonds, Robert Spillane, another younger linebacker for the Steelers. Man, just an awesome group of guys in that department. Then we also had newly named Hall of Famer Donnie Shell. He was up there, so you can check that YouTube video out and interview that we did with him as well. He was up there. Rod Woodson was up there as well. Dwayne Woodruff. I already told you Tunch and Wolf. They were up there. Who am I forgetting? Jeez, I'm forgetting somebody. Oh, man. Oh, John Banaszak, he was up there. John Cole was up there. That's another awesome story. You can check his out, too. I when I was looking through the lineup with people, I was like, man, I like the fact that a lot of y'all have already been up here. Like, this lets us know this is good. This is pretty good right here, man.
Exactly.
Yeah, but overall, like I said, man, just an awesome group of guys. Everybody was super fun. The fans were really respectful as well, which is always huge because anytime you're in that type of setting, it's important that you make sure players have their space and fans have their space, and they did a really good job with that. So tip the hat to Steeler Nation on that, man. But overall, man, it was dope. All we was missing was Deke, baby. That's it. Man. That's all we was missing, man.
It sounded like a good time without me.
Man, it was dope, but you got to be there for the next one, man.
All right. Well, I'm glad that you shared some of those stories because it gave us podcast listeners and me a little touch of the cruise.
A little glimpse of it, man. Yes, indeed, man.
But all right, I guess there was some big news going on.
Yeah, man. I want you to break it because you broke out the jersey today.
I had to. I had to. The news is Big Ben is not only throwing light objects. He had the February 21st checkup date. Mm-hmm. And I was texting you because I think a day went by. And I didn't hear anything. Dude, what is going on? Do you have any inside scoop with this? Because the checkup date was yesterday. Yeah. So we should have been hearing some news yesterday. And not hearing any news, that gives me pause for concern. It definitely does. So not too shortly after that, you sent me a video from Steelers.com Twitter. Big Ben throwing the football. not the light objects, not the tennis balls.
Bypass that. Let's get right into it.
The football. So we're good to go, man.
Hey, don't sell yourself short. Then Deke went viral.
Oh, man, come on.
My man Deke chopping it up on the ones and twos. He's the Kanye West of this thing when it comes to producing. Hey, Deke put out a video of, how Steelers Nation reaction to Big Ben throwing the ball, and it went absolutely nuts on social media, man. So big shout out to Deke, man, for that one too.
Nah, man, it wasn't a big deal.
Hey.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, I don't want to take complete credit for it because I had to have been inspired from something else, and that was, I don't know what you would call it, a video meme, a video gif that people, I don't know what that was from, like a big ass soccer game where people are in a bar and something happens and everyone just goes nuts, and then people have used that for different things that have happened over time that people get excited about. So Ben throwing the football, it just kind of added up to me. I made the clip, I put the video on, and
Hey, it was dope, man. I was like, look at D going to work, man. I said, when I saw him throw the ball, I said, oh, the happiest man in the world right now is D. I don't care what anybody else say. I don't even care about the Steelers talking about they're happy. No. The happiest person in all of America right now is young Deke. But yeah, man.
I was pumped, dude. I went on YouTube, watched some highlights. There's one that someone put out. It's incredible. I think a lot of people have seen it. It's where it's like a 2020 pump up for Ben, where they're comparing Ben to the sleeping lion, and people are coming after the lion, and the lion roars, and I know if you've seen it, you know what video I'm talking about. Just type up like Big Ben 2020 pump up vid. You're gonna get chills.
Okay. Nah, man, it was dope though, man. So when we looked at the reports, he said basically that because of how well his progress had been, that he was able to bypass doing the light objects and throw the football. He talked about how he was extremely happy about it. This has been Roethlisberger we're speaking of. And then from there, he says he has 2 more throwing sessions out in California with the doctors and things like that to make sure everything is going good. He also said that he still has about 2 to 3.5 more months of recovery until he's officially cleared.
Like ready to let it loose.
Yeah. Yep. So from there, man, it's just, like I said, the process of continuing to be on that journey, continuing to get better. But now I start to put 2 and 2 together in terms of why Kevin Colbert and Mike Tomlin were speaking on, hey, we're comfortable with the QB room as is. Because let's be real, they had to have known that Ben was where he was at. Because there's no way that you would have been saying that you were comfortable with the room, not knowing that Ben was going to be healthy or not, if you did not know this man was going to be throwing a football on February 21st, not a light object. And that's for me, I was like, oh.
So you're saying that was the plan?
Absolutely.
Because here's the thing, that was well done by Ben, by the Steelers.
No leaks by anyone.
Well, all that, yeah. And then just to wait the day, the anticipation, and then just to come out with a 5-6 second video. That's all we need to see.
Yeah.
We didn't want a statement to show the video. That was just another added element that really got us hyped.
So that's why for me, I was like, oh, y'all knew this. Y'all were planning this. I think as soon as the Steelers season, regular season ended, they was like, oh, we didn't make the playoffs. We got some for Steelers Nation. Just wait. Just wait. Hey, give no information, guys. Give no information.
Wow.
I mean, because typically you get a leak from one of these reporters, one of these Adam Schefter.
Well, we were hearing opposite leaks though, around Christmas.
Yeah.
That, what was it? There's some concern from Ben and his party about him potentially playing.
Yeah.
Unless that was maybe part of this too.
Hey, man, all I'm saying is it wouldn't surprise me. It would not surprise me.
I don't care because I love it.
It was worth it though, because the reaction, all of us were just extremely happy about it. So it's gonna be dope, man. I'm just ready to see.
So you're feeling good.
Oh yeah, well, the fact that, like I said, getting cleared for throwing was the first step. We talked about how all the different check marks that we have, right?
Right. So are you feeling better about the next 2 to 3 months here? A little less concerned.
I still want to say I was feeling better. I'm just gonna say like I feel good about it though, because this is the big date. Remember we talked about like if he wasn't clear by February 21st to start throwing, like now it's push the panic button time.
Yeah.
But for me, like seeing him at least being able to throw a football, I'm like, okay, that's good. Like we know he's good in that regard. But then from there, like I said, it's still a long road. I mean, you're talking about another 2 to 3 months. That's still, I mean, you think we're in the end of February right now? So we're going to March, April, May potentially. So for me, I'm like, all right, let's see, all right, what's the next hurdle? What's the next step? What's the next big date for him? And then once he does get cleared, all right, now let's see, how is it responding to the day-to-day grind of being an NFL quarterback? So for me, that's why I'm like, I'm happy about it. And it's definitely a step in the right direction, but I know it's still not over. It isn't just, oh yeah, he's good to go now. Put him out there on Sunday. No,
I feel like it's over.
Man.
That is definitely how I feel right now, because there was other things that were said by Derek Carr. I think you saw that.
Yeah.
Didn't I send you
you
that?
said
The
that
quote that he said,
Yeah.
like, Ben's like a natural athlete. That this thing's not gonna affect him at all. He's gonna be able to come in there, and I'm paraphrasing. Like, this is I might be pumping it up a little too much, but he should be able to come in there and sling it just like old times. So that's how I'm feeling right now. The whole 2 to 3 month window is kind of in the back of my mind. I was a little more concerned. I was a little more concerned prior to this checkup. I mean, you could hear it on the podcast, me and you talking and hashing it out. I don't know if maybe that was you giving me.
I just give you the facts. I give Still Nation the facts, so y'all can do what y'all want to do with it, baby.
I think you got to me a little bit.
Which is fine with the facts, man.
Which is fine.
Just take them as you want to take them, baby.
Because I think those were more intelligent conversations, and we kind of broke it down what was all at stake. But now that the clearance date is upon us, and we saw what happened, it's over. We're good to go. 2020 favorites in our division, at least. Lock that in right now.
Whatever you say.
Top 3 in the league, though, for sure.
AFC, NFC, doesn't matter. Whatever you say, bro.
For sure.
All right.
For sure. No doubt. So we good on that news?
Yeah, man. You sure? Any of the goals?
I'm ready to roll,
MVP
man.
and comeback player of the year?
Oh, yeah. I actually commented on the Steelers' Instagram on that. I said, someone said comeback player of the year locked in. I said, add that MVP in there too. So, yeah, I'm feeling that. It was
regular season and Super Bowl MVP.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
That's how I'm feeling about it. So
I like it, man.
I'm sticking with that.
If anyone knows you stick with that, it's me.
Yep.
I'm just waiting. Are we getting a 15-1 or are we going 16-0 this year?
I think that's something that's probably going to be year in and year out my record prediction.
15-1, 16-0?
Well, yeah, I can maybe bump it up to 16-0, but I think 15-1's good.
I mean, he's rested now, though.
I know, but 15-1's good. I'm good with that. I think I just got to stick with that.
Did it work this year?
Once Ben retires, I'll recalibrate, but yeah, it's always going to be 15-1, I think, when he's...
Okay, all right, fair enough.
I don't know if that was a mistake, me saying that right now, because usually it's better to tease those things. But whatever.
You're good, man. We know where you stand, bro. We ain't tripping.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the news. That is the news.
I like it.
I'm good
man.
with that news.
No, man, that was dope, man. It was definitely an exciting time for all of Steeler Nation, man. So it's good to see.
Yeah,
definitely good to see.
And then are we gonna go with the news that we missed with the week that you were on the cruise? I think it came out earlier in the week. The Tomlin going on to ESPN First Take and Myles Garrett having his interview. I think it was on Outside the Lines.
Yeah. So the way it worked out, Myles Garrett had his first, because actually all that information was coming out while I was doing my radio show. It was
on Saturday.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah.
So literally, the Myles Garrett.
Were you on the fly? Like,
yeah, like
no way.
Yeah. So literally, that came out. I'm responding to that, and then Mason tweets in the second half of the show, and I'm like, oh, all right, throw the rest of the show away, guys. This is what we're doing now. Yeah. So Myles Garrett basically had to sit down with I think her name is Mina Kimes, whatever. Mina Kimes, with Outside the Lines and everything like that, where they're rehashing everything that transpired because he had just got officially reinstated from his indefinite suspension. And he says that once again, he reiterated, doubled down on the fact that Mason Rudolph allegedly had called him the N-word, gave him a racial slur. He actually called him, he said, stupid N-word. So that whole thing blows up. Everybody's going crazy. Then Mason Rudolph tweets out within probably like an hour or two of that, says, 1,000% lie. Yeah. Never said it, like all these other things. So it's like, all right, I like that a lot, especially for Mason, because I felt like this is one of those things that if a guy keeps saying that, keep trying to attack your character and things like that, you definitely need to have one of those, let's lay down the gauntlet and let him know I'm not with that.
I'm not backing down. Yeah,
right. So he did that. And then a day later, Coach Tomlin goes on First Take with Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman. And he reiterates the fact that he has close ties with the guys over there in the Browns organization, knows players out there. Not once did he hear anything close to that. Not once did anybody in their organization say that, hey, man, coach, we got some information you might want to like fall back on.
Yep.
None of that. And obviously, anybody watched the video, obviously we were at that game. As soon as all that fighting and stuff broke out, Coach Tomlin was on the field. We saw he ran on the field with the rest of the guys. So it was like, he said to himself, like, man, I was out there. So if that would have been said, like, somebody in that commotion would have said it right then. Like, yo, he said such and such, man. Yo, he said that.
Yeah.
Not once did he hear that.
No one else aside from Garrett has said anything on what they heard. That's kind of the most interesting thing to me. Where I know on the Brown side, there's people that will say, you know, I know Myles, I know like he wouldn't, you know, be making stuff up. But at the same time, no one has said, hey, I did hear this. Right. Like no one has said that. Not one. Or come to his defense like Tomlin did with Mason Rudolph, which is a big shout out to Mike Tomlin for doing that.
I thought it was an awesome job by Coach T stepping up, because I mean Coach T is in the offseason right now. He has so much going on that he doesn't need to be concerned with this, but he felt it was important to not only back Mason, but to also take a shot at ESPN and say the fact that you guys are running with this type of story and essentially trying to, I mean, destroy Mason's career. Not even from a football standpoint, but just thereafter standpoint. If something like that got out that he said you're a stupid N-word, like that could destroy this man and anything he would be trying to accomplish down the road. So the fact that Coach T thought it was important enough to stand up and say something like that and call out ESPN for running with a story like that without having facts, without having proof. Like, that's the thing. If you're going to make that accusation, you have to have proof to back it up. You have to have witnesses to back it up. And the fact that you have none of that, the fact that if we were really talking about, oh, well, maybe, you know, the NFL is trying to cover up some stuff, you really think they'd be trying to cover that up for a backup quarterback in Mason Rudolph versus a number one overall pick, a rising star in the NFL, and Myles Garrett? If anything, they'll be trying to back Myles at any chance they could get. Yeah. So the fact that no information, no audio, no proof of that has come out is because there isn't any. So for me, I looked at it like, man, Myles, like, I understand you trying to save face. I understand you'll say in one breath, I'm not trying to justify my actions, but yet you continue to bring this up. You're trying to justify it. You're trying to make yourself not look like a bad guy. You're trying to make yourself not look like the villain. Accept the consequence. You served your time. Okay, cool, but move on, because you continuing to bring up this, oh, he called me the N-word when there is no proof of it, is only going to make you look worse. It's going to make you like a liar. It's going to make you like a person that's trying to just fabricate something and play the race card when it's not needed. And then on top of that, if something really did happen down the line where the race card was played or needed to be played, well, now you're ruining it for everyone in that regard. So stop it. Yeah, that was my thought process with the whole thing, man. Just stop it, because you're just making yourself look foolish, and you're making it bad for if something racial does really happen down the line. Nobody's going to start believing it because you're watering it down by throwing it out there, false accusations, things like that.
No, definitely. I think you hit the nail on the head. Now, with the whole thing about the outside of the lines, I think Tomlin brought up a really good point. Like, all right, if you're going to be doing, this interview with Myles Garrett, you have to present all the other facts, and none of the other facts were brought up, where there was this huge investigation. The NFL did their due diligence. The organizations did their due diligence on all this, and nothing was found. Like, if you would have brought that up along with the interview, like, that is
totally different.
That is, I guess, fair reporting. Then, Myles was able to say what he needed to say, but then at the other side, you brought up all the other facts, and then people can make their own opinions from that.
I said essentially that would be the equivalent of if you were in the courtroom, right? If I just got to present my facts and you never get to talk, you never get to present your facts, that's not fair. That's what that interview was, though. Just one-sided. Now, like you said, though, both of us get to present our facts, but now it's on the public, now it's on the jury, the court of public opinion, to decide who they want to believe. But it's your responsibility to give both sides. Yeah.
No, and that's why I thought it was dope for Coach Tomlin to go on First Take and present it in a really clear way and just matter of fact, like, this is how it is.
Absolutely,
so,
man.
Yeah, dope with him, because a lot of people are saying, Tomlin being a great leader by doing this, leader of men. I know. Yeah. I think Mason tweeted that out after Tomlin went on. So it was just really cool to see, him backing up his quarterback, and like you said, going on First Take on his vacation in his off season to make that point. So that was cool.
Yeah. And for me, I looked at it like, we're talking. It's not as if we're talking about the franchise quarterback. It's not even talking about the star player. We're talking about a guy who got the job because Ben got hurt. Then
pretty much
lost
expendable.
The job. Yeah, expendable. Like we talked about. Okay, would you bring in a veteran backup to be the number 2 guy? Have Mason as your 3? We talked about that, and the fact that he's willing to go on one of the biggest sport talk shows in the country and put that down there and say those things and call out that same sports show, call out that network. For him, that lets you know just how serious of an issue it is, but also how caring Coach Tomlin is. Because he didn't have to do that. He could have easily just left it alone and went on by his business. But he felt it was that important that he needed to step up and say something on a public platform like that, man. So that's why Coach T is Coach T, baby. You know where he's from, in the 757 too, baby. Shout out VA.
Now, did you want to touch on anything that was also brought up in that interview?
You said what now?
Did you want to touch on anything else that was brought up in that interview?
Oh, man, what you got for it, man? Yeah.
Well, I had an epiphany.
Uh-oh.
After our last podcast.
Uh-oh. I don't know if I should be nervous about this. I'm excited.
Well, it goes back to the question that was asked to Tomlin on the First Take interview, and that was if the Steelers are willing to bring back Antonio Brown.
Oh, yeah, I did. Yeah, I remember now.
Wait, what did you think I was going to say?
No. Because in my mind, when his interview was going on was when I was checking on to the boat. So it was like, I remembered it. I remember like the big stuff, and then I do remember that part of it. But it was just a lot going on. I was like, hold on, what am I forgetting in this interview? And I'm like, yes.
I just more or less want to bring up my epiphany.
Uh-oh.
During this week off.
Uh-huh.
And first I'll say how Tomlin responded to the question. Yeah. He said, once a Steeler, always a Steeler.
And this is in return, and they were asking about, like you said, Antonio Brown coming back to the Steelers.
And he said, once a Steeler, always a Steeler. We're interested in helping Antonio Brown better himself as a man. We're, we'll put out any resources we can for him and help him in that way. But in terms of coming back to play football, we have no business interest right now. Mm-hmm. So I think this interview was done after I had my epiphany anyway, because I think it was the weekend where you sent me a few pictures of quotes that AB said after the fact, after all of his apologies, even though some of his apologies were at the same time maybe not complete apologies. Because
it's not a whole lot of you, a little bit of me.
I was willing to look past that. I was definitely willing to look past that. But then, we had a conversation on the podcast about all this. This was good. It was a good 10, 15 minutes, and it was deep. It went a little bit beyond football too. Like you're just questioning things, and I sat back and I was like, man, you know what? I do need to move on. I really need to move on.
You sure?
No, it's done. I need to move on, and then.
So you gonna let the ex go officially?
Yeah, it's done.
You don't think it's different this time?
It is. Well, you sent me those 2 quotes. The one was about Big Ben. I think, like I said, it was after all of this. Yeah. It was in some other interview, and he said it was all charade with Ben or something like that. And then the other one was about Juju. Like Juju thinks he's the man, or they want him to be the man. They're force feeding him. I'm the man.
500 yards. He thinks he's the man. Y'all think he's all world. Yeah.
So I'm done, dude. I texted you and I said, man, I'm moving on. I ain't
gonna lie, man. I'm really proud of you, man. You're kind of like I said,
it's time.
You're the ex-girl, and to hear this epiphany, this breakthrough, this, you know what? I'm ready to find new love. I'm ready to move on. I'm gonna walk with you on your journey.
Thanks, dude.
I'm here for you step by step, because that's what friends do.
Thanks.
You know what I mean? I'm not going to let you feel like you got to do this by yourself.
I don't know. You were teasing me a little bit.
No, man, because it was funny. Like I said, for me, I always laugh just because what makes my spot unique is I have personal relationships with these guys, right? Like I said, 4 years, me and this dude were teammates. Lockers, 5 spots from each other. So it's like you have a ton of interactions, a ton of personal interactions. So you have your personal feelings about people. And the flip side is, from the media standpoint, I don't like to blur those lines of when we're looking at what somebody is saying and just based off of what everybody else would know versus what I personally know. I don't like to blur those lines. So that's why for me, I always laugh when something is said by anybody, not just AB, but anybody amongst the Steelers, and how you'll react or how Steeler Nation reacts. And I'm always like, yeah, well, I know a little bit more than that. And I got to just kind of like ride with it. But I did say, though, when he first posted those apologies, I'm like, dude, they just don't seem genuine. And I was like, it's funny how Steeler Nation is so quick to just wipe it under the rug, even when, in particular, the Ben Roethlisberger apology, where the opening line says, a lot of you, a little bit of me. How is that an apology? Like, imagine if somebody was coming to apologize to you.
It was a step in the right direction.
And they say, Deke, I know I've done all this stuff to you, but when I apologize, I'm gonna say it's a lot of your fault, a little bit of my fault. And then we supposed to just move on from that. Like, for me, when I would look at some of that stuff, I was just like, man, I really didn't think it was sincere. And then I started to really dig deep to find out what was going on with these interviews, because remember, he posted stuff on social media, went on 937 The Fan, and then from there he starts doing like the Breakfast Club, I think it was like Hot 97, like all these big stations. And I'm like, okay, so why was he coming on these stations? Like, where did this come from? And the guys, as I'm watching like the full interviews, not just the clips, I'm laughing because they're like, all right, so Antonio Brown is up here to talk about his music, but we don't want to talk about that. We got to talk about like what's going on with you as a person. What's up with this football stuff? and the whole time, like, he doesn't even want to talk about that. He wants to talk his music. And they're like, bro, we're not talking to you about your music. I don't want to hear none of that. We need to know, like, what's going on with you? Why'd you trip out? What's this? What's that? What's that? And when I look at some of the clips, like the highlights that are posted on social media, I'm like, that's trying to sway the narrative one way. But when you really watch him and how he's like going on and talking, I'm like, oh yeah, this dude don't care. He's not apologizing. He's just talking. And he'll say like a 3-minute answer. Somebody take a 20-second, man, I really think, it's love in Pittsburgh. Like, or I can't burn all these bridges in Pittsburgh. It's too many bridges to be burned. I'm like, did y'all hear the rest of this? Did you hear the part before he got to that part? Like, nope. This is nuts.
Nope, but we didn't hear that.
Yeah, and a lot of people didn't, though. Because literally some of these interviews are like 30 minutes long. And I was like, wow, this is, when I really went back and watched, I'm like, oh, this is crazy. Yeah. But the whole time, like, he just wanted to talk like his music. That was it, man.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
It definitely
So then I'm
sense.
like, because remember we was like, man, he's going on his public re-campaign and trying to fix his image. I'm like, no, he was going on a campaign to promote his music. And they just kept asking him about all that stuff. But he just wanted to talk his music. He wasn't hey, I want to come up here to just use my platform to apologize. I want to use my platform to really show remorse. I really want to show that I've changed. That was not the case, man. And it was a whole bunch of excuse making too that I really wasn't fond of, in terms of him trying to say, man, well, when you have, everything going your way and now you got to live without football, like, that's hard. I'm like, no, it's not. It's like, I understand, yeah, it's a transition, okay, but that doesn't give you the right to lash out and act the way that you're acting. If that's the case, go seek professional help. Like, that doesn't justify you tripping out on the police. That doesn't justify you tripping out on your baby mother. Like, you don't, like, dude, you're not the first person to get out the league. You're not the last one either.
Yeah.
But that doesn't give you the right to do that. That doesn't give you the right to act that way. It doesn't give you the right to say things that you say and continue on. And his excuse is always, hey, man, it was hard for me. And then he's like, man, well, the thing that I always get mad with is why does anybody ever want to talk about the good stuff I do? Like when I donate bikes or when I do this, I'm like, well, because you're doing 1 or 2 good things and like 20 bad things, like really, really bad things. Like, come on, bro. Like, what you expect?
Yeah.
So for me, man, that was when I was really watching all that stuff. That's why anytime we have these conversations, I'm always like, bro, I'm not buying it, because I'm seeing everything. I'm watching this, and then I got my personal connection, and I know all these things on top of that. It's like, bro, it's not adding up.
Yep, it is. It's just time to move on. Steeler Nation, it's just time. It was tough. It's been a tough journey. But I think...
Now, I do hope, like I said, and some of the Coach Tomlin said, I do hope that he does improve and that he can get back on the right foot, regardless of his comeback to the NFL or not, just as a man, as a father, as a, you know what I mean, as just a role model, a public figure, because regardless of if he wants to be or not, at this point, he's still somebody that kids look up to. Mm-hmm. I'm sure back in Miami, they still look and say, man, AB came out of here, I can do that too.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, understand the platform, understand the significance of this role that you have, and do whatever you can to right the ship. Do whatever you can to, hey, man, I know I can't change the past, but I can control my future and go about it the right way.
Yeah. At least it seems like there's a step in the right direction, even though some of the comments made about Steelers and, like you said, some of that isn't exactly where anyone would want that to be, but at least the other stuff isn't happening. So there's that. So, absolutely. Yeah, no, you're right, 100%. Hopefully he gets on the right track no matter what.
Fingers crossed, man.
But I'm moving on. I think we're good, man. Steeler Nation, we're good.
Well, I do think, man, if Ben comes back and he's 100% healthy, he's good to go. And Coach Tomlin feels that, hey, he's going to be good to go from him and Ben's conversations. So if that's the case, I don't think that receiver need that we talked about this past season will be as prevalent. I do think Ben coming back helps out those guys a ton. And I do think that it makes the offense overall better because now you don't have to worry about allocating resources to that room. If you want to address other issues, you can do that. Yep. So I do think that that's going to be very beneficial for those guys.
No, yeah, I'm definitely pumped.
Yeah, man.
Now, I know we got one more topic. I do want to say one more epiphany if you're fine with that.
Go ahead, man. Epiphany away.
I think I'm hanging up the Red Sox hat.
Oh, so you tired of getting the comments, man?
No.
Because the comments were heavy on you once again. I saw them.
Nah, I'm not tired of it.
I started to see some of them like, hey.
Yeah.
How you going to talk? You're not a Steelers fan. You're not a Pittsburgh guy rocking a Sox hat. Man, I can't listen to anybody that wears a Sox hat. Why do you got a Sox hat, man?
I mean, I don't think they were that vicious.
Hey man.
They were just like, why a Sox hat? This don't make sense.
I'm just saying, man.
That's my thinking is I get where...
No, you don't.
I get where people could see that it doesn't make sense. It goes
with everything. It's iconic.
Huh?
It's iconic. It goes with everything.
It's just the hat, man.
It's not just the hat.
So
that's the case where you got a Tom Brady jersey on there. Why don't you wear a Tom Brady jersey then? It's just a jersey.
Nah, man.
It's just a jersey.
That's the thing, though. That's baseball.
Just saying, bro. It's Boston, period.
It's baseball.
We're a Bruins thing in here then. Huh? We're some Bruins stuff. It's just hockey. We're some Bruins stuff. We're a Bruins jersey in here.
Dude, the Pirates suck.
Whatever, man.
Who cares
I don't
about
care.
Baseball as a sport?
Dude, it's the city.
And that's where I'm starting to think. I see where the message can be getting a little convoluted because I don't care about Boston. I actually can't stand Boston. I can't stand Boston.
But you can't say you don't stand Boston when you're wearing a Red Sox hat all the time.
I could say that just because that's how it is. But I see why people could get confused.
Like look at me. I can't stand Baltimore. I don't own anything Baltimore. In fact, when I started
an Orioles hat though would be different from a
I don't care. Hat. I'm not wearing nothing Baltimore. Period. Nothing. Don't like Cleveland. When LeBron left, I say perfect. I ain't gotta wear a Bron jersey no more from Cleveland.
Well, actually, you bring up a good point with LeBron though. It says Cleveland on it. So
and I told you once he left Cleveland, that's right. I ain't got a jersey no more. I got Lakers now.
Still
what?
I mean, if someone came at you and said, "Get the Cleveland off,"
no, and it was this thing. Everybody said that's a LeBron.
Right.
So what is your excuse?
I mean, I don't care about baseball.
No,
I mean,
no.
I really don't care about baseball.
Oh, like Cincinnati, you gonna wear a Reds hat next? That's next?
It's not.
Oh, you gonna throw a Cincinnati Reds hat on? I don't care about.
Dude,
hey.
Listen,
it's iconic.
If you ask my friends, like whenever I got that hat, dude, I got that thing like 4 or 5 years ago.
Hey man, I blame your friends then for allowing you. Friends don't let that in. You might check your friends, man.
Dude,
real friends don't let friends wear anything from Boston.
We thought it was funny. It was just like
real friends. Don't let friends buy anything.
I'm just wearing that
Boston
dirty ass cliche Boston. Bro. It was just like a funny thing,
and it did. So funny, man.
And it fit with a different outfit. Like I said, it was just a fashion thing.
You could throw a Yankees hat on. It fits with everything. What are we talking about?
I could have done that. Yeah,
you definitely could have.
But I threw it on, and it just didn't look right.
No, it did. It did. You were just a Boston guy.
Hell no.
Yeah, you are, bro. It's simple,
dude. No,
it's cool, bro.
I cannot stand
Boston.
Can't
say you don't like Boston when you wear Sox hats all the time.
Not all the time, just once in a while.
A lot
it's
of
just it's just part of the swag. No, dude, I'm telling you that though. You're coming back at me saying I can't say that. I am saying that.
All right.
But that's why I'm saying I think it is appropriate to retire the hat because I can see how the message is confusing. That's all.
Yeah, it's very confusing.
I can see how the message. I don't regret wearing
Especially how highly you speak of Tom Brady too. Like it's really, really confusing over here. I hate Boston. I can't stand Boston. As I have a Sox hat on and I speak like, Tom Brady's number 2 behind Ben Roethlisberger. Yeah, all these other quarterbacks out here. Okay, cool.
Listen, dude, if Brady goes somewhere else, I'm going to be singing his praises too. It's not, dude, I hope the Patriots go to hell, man. I do.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I do.
Sure.
They're annoying.
Sure.
Can't stand them.
Whatever you say.
I don't regret wearing the Boston hat because I know me. I know where my allegiances lie. I know my thinking behind things. I'm a complex.
I think nobody else knows where your allegiance
that's what I'm saying
right now.
No, they.
That's what it is. Roy is kind of like, I think he's maybe a Steeler fan.
Stop,
Might
man.
be.
It's a Boston.
Maybe he's just a big Ben fan, but you really like Boston. You're like a sleeper agent,
dude.
You're a double agent. That's what
I'm telling you, man. Well, I was even watching the whatchamacallit. I was telling you off the mic about what went on the past weekend.
The Boston and LA robbery. You were a major Boston.
I was getting so pissed just watching
a Larry
Boston.
Bird guy.
No,
you're a Larry Bird guy without a doubt.
I'm not at all, dude. NBA is completely different from any other sport. NBA.
So you don't like Larry Bird?
I like Larry Bird. I like Magic Johnson.
Who do you like more though?
I don't have.
You got to think about it unless you know you're a Larry Bird guy.
No,
man.
Dude, no.
Stop it.
Because I'm not really a fan of either or.
Stop.
I'm a LeBron guy, dude.
Stop.
I'm a LeBron guy. That's NBA history. We can all appreciate NBA history.
Like Larry.
Stop it.
You totally like Larry Bird, bro. Oh man.
Stop, man.
Scalabrini.
No, come on, dude.
Pump.
No, but I was watching. Dude, Boston fans, just the Celtics, and dude, it's just annoying. It's just so annoying. So watching that, because you are clearly seeing the Lakers are just a better team, and the Celtics fans and Celtics beat writers in this documentary, they're making excuses of, the injuries, this and that, and we're this scrappy team. It's just annoying. You know, I rail against that whole the underdog, the scrappy team. No, give me a break.
All right.
So I'm just telling you, I think the Red Sox hat's getting retired. Like I said,
we should burn it then.
I was thinking about that, but
that'd be a dope vid too.
At the same time, I don't really want to bring too much attention to it because it's not a big deal.
Let's make it ceremonial. Like I'll get the lighter fluid and the lighter. You can burn it at your house.
But I don't know how much credibility that gives to people saying, "Oh, is this guy a Boston fan or something?"
Nah, man, I think it'll be dope though.
Because I'm telling you, I'm not. I never have been. It's just a hat.
I think that'll prove it though. You see how attached you are to that hat right now? Do you see?
I'm not. I'm just not going to wear it.
Oh, let's burn it then.
Okay. I mean, it's not a big deal.
We got a ceremony, man. We'll put some flowers out there. You want red and blue flowers as well?
No, I'm just...
Black and gold?
I just get
black and red.
I just get the whole messaging. I get how it could be confusing. That's all. Right. And it's not a big. It's just a hat, so it's not a big deal. Because the other side of me is like, you know me, where I'm like, I don't.
I'm a Sox fan.
No. At the same time, I'm just like, I don't give enough, and I'm just gonna wear whatever because I know who I am deep down, and you know, I don't want to be too mean to the people that are saying these comments, but you know, whatever with you guys. I don't really care what you're saying because there's that part of it. But then the other part is the savvy, you know, branding. I could see how things are confusing. That's all.
All right, fair enough. Then,
you get what I mean, man?
Fair enough. I'm with you, bro. I'm with you.
You're not though. I know you're.
It's just funny, man. I like when you have these epiphanies. This is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Epiphanies by Deke.
So I guess going back to the beginning of the conversation where I said I didn't know what to do with myself, and man, I thought the week would be refreshing, a time to think. Maybe it was a little bit.
You were in deep thought. I like that, man.
See, there was some good that came out of it.
Good.
Obviously, I wanted to record, but it's whatever.
I'm glad to hear that, though, man.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that.
So that's getting retired. Maybe I don't know what I'll do, but
you can put like your AB jersey in there with the...
No.
Okay,
AB, once a Steeler, always a Steeler.
Oh, okay. Just checking. I didn't know if it was like just a big bonfire. You can get rid of all your Boston stuff and have a little fun with it.
Nah, man, just the hat.
We want to eat some clam chowder while we do it too?
We could do the hat.
All right.
Nah. No, just burn the hat. That's all.
I like it there, bro. I like it.
But on to the next topic.
Yeah, man. Just a quick little recap, man. XFL, man. I can't remember if we talked last time about like the viewership and stuff like that.
We did.
Yeah.
But I was looking today because there was a little dip in the second week viewership. Now, I was looking to see what the difference was between the second week and the third week.
Yeah.
And I couldn't find anything yet. I couldn't find numbers on it.
Yeah, I haven't either.
So the only thing I could speak to on it is that I was able to watch Landry a little bit. It was one of those things, like I said before, with my relationship with the XFL. It's just going to be something on in the background, and that's what it was. I had something on in the background, and just so happens Landry Jones is playing. Yeah, they were down, and he led a comeback. He threw for 3 touchdowns on the game. So
you might have been talking about the same game I was watching because it would have been Saturday, I think it was.
Saturday.
Yeah, because we were at the airport about to leave out and was like, oh, let's go eat real quick. And the game was on. I was like, oh, babe, look, Landry. Perfect. Yeah. So for me, I'm the same way, man. I do think that it's still going. It's still having a positive impact, a lot stronger than what the AAF did. And I think that's solely because of the TV deals. The fact that they're still on major network television, I think that that's helping them out a ton. And you're able to see the success that it's having. Even on ESPN, they actually have like their own little segment, like XFL stuff now, which is surprising to me. Yep. I was like, AAF never had that. But XFL, they're constantly out there, still doing a really good job with the social media, keeping the conversation going and things like that. So for me, man, I'm still liking it a lot, man.
Yeah, I think the only way you're going to catch me watching this going forward is if Landry's on or, like I said, just something in the background. No. And that thing in the background, though, now has to compete with NBA because it was a weird coincidence. I'm watching that Celtics-Lakers documentary. As soon as that was over, I tuned into ABC. And all of a sudden, it's Lakers-Celtics, LeBron versus Jason Tatum. And I was watching that, and I was enjoying that. Yeah. And it's starting to swing into that springtime NBA season. So if you got games going on at the same time as some other NBA games, that's going to be tough to compete with.
Well, all I'm saying is this. Think about what you just said, right?
What?
In terms of what they're competing with.
Yeah.
And they're still having really good numbers in terms of viewership. We talked about how they took that big dip in week 2. And they were still competing with the Daytona 500. They were still competing with, there was 1 or 2 other like major sport events going on. So the fact they're still drawing that type of viewership lets you know, hey man, they here to stay, baby. They're not playing no games. Yeah,
Well, you know what happened?
Yeah.
Another guy tweeted out in our break, our week off, and that was Mr. Money Manziel.
And he's another one was funny to me too. Go ahead though.
And he tweeted at the commissioner, XFL Commissioner Luck, and said, "Hey, send me a contract. Give the fans what they want. Yeah. We all know it needs to happen." And I'm on board with him, and I agree with him because that is what people want to see. My question to you is this: you said that's what they want to see, but didn't he just 2 weeks ago tweet, "Hey man, I don't want to go play for another failing league"? It doesn't matter because dude, it doesn't matter because
like, what are we talking about here, bro? It sounds like he just need money. That's what it sounds like.
He's part of a rich family though.
I'm just saying.
Now,
just 2 weeks ago, he said, "I don't want to go play for another failing league," because that was the conversation. Oh, would you join the XFL? And initially, the XFL said, "No, we don't want Johnny Manziel."
Well, he's sitting on his couch and he's watching these games on, like you said, the major networks, and it's gaining some buzz. And he's saying, "All right, it's not going to fail." So I have new information.
So now he wants to hop on the gravy train. Go back up to Canada, man.
At the same time, dude, if I'm Oliver Luck, I am not listening to that, really.
Not a chance, bro.
I'm not having someone dictate to me who I'm sending contracts to over Twitter.
Bro, what?
But if he's smart, he would maybe consider, because that would generate some buzz.
We see the success that is happening right now. We saw the lack of buzz that the AAF acquired with Johnny Manziel signing.
I watched though, man.
Did you watch every game that he played in?
I watched the highlights.
Highlights, exactly.
I couldn't find the game.
Exactly. So yeah, XFL's doing just fine. They don't need that.
Well, that would have me watch over an NBA game if Manziel's playing.
For me, I'll probably watch the NFL. I mean, I'll probably watch the NBA game over that.
I know. I mean,
that's just how I feel about it.
You've said that.
Yeah.
I know your sentiments. Definitely.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and I don't like how I missed this when we talked last time, and I saw somebody in the comments talk about how you just casually throw when we were talking about Manziel and the XFL, and you're like, oh yeah, man, you tried to rip that guy's helmet off, and I was like, dang, dude, really? And I didn't catch it when you said it. I heard it, and I really,
said it.
Yes, you did.
Yeah. I know I did.
I ain't like that though, man, because you got me looking like the villain out here, man. Somebody put in the comment and was like,
stop.
Oh, you did try to do it, and I was like, wait a minute,
that was not a villainizing thing.
Are you trying to Myles Garrett me here?
No.
What you trying to do here, man? No, I'm playing.
No. It was not a villainizing thing. I think whenever we were talking about Manziel, you said you have a completely different standpoint or perspective with Manziel.
And you just casually dropped in there. Oh yeah, you tried to rip his helmet off.
No, what you were saying was, man, I was probably in high school or college when Johnny Manziel, Johnny Football, the hysteria was happening with him and A&M. And that carried over to the league where, all right, I'm still a Johnny Football guy. I want him to succeed. I don't, whatever off the field issues. It's Johnny Football, So I look at him as this, I don't know. I don't want to say I put him up on a pedestal, but just someone that brings excitement and you just want to see in the game for whatever reason. Johnny Football, right? Johnny Legend. But you said you had the standpoint of, dude, I went up against this guy, and I wasn't really too impressed. And then I just wanted to give credence to your point by saying, dude, you ripped off his helmet.
His helmet off, easy. Why you got that out there?
No, I was saying,
you could have been like, oh yeah, you did get a sack on him. Oh yeah, y'all did beat him. Like you could have went that route. Not, oh yeah, you ripped his helmet off. Like, dude.
You ripped his helmet off. He doesn't impress me. I'm
just saying, you could have oh yeah, you did get a sack on him, and that would have been your second sack had the helmet not been ripped off. But actually, I blame Mitchell Schwartz, Super Bowl champ. Mitchell Schwartz was the starting right tackle for the Chiefs because he was the starting tackle for the Browns that game.
Okay,
and he was holding me, and that's ultimately why my hand ended up getting the dude's face mask. If he doesn't hold me, like I told him, and like I said in my appeal, if I wasn't being pulled and held by this young man, it would have been a clean sack, no issues. But because he yanked me like that, it made my hand go from his chest to his face mask, and that's why things looked the way they looked.
So you did have a sack that game?
Yeah, that was my second sack.
Oh, dude, that would have been dope.
Yeah, it would have been 2-piece on him.
Dude, you know what I remember from that game?
Oh, what you remember, man? Shoot, actually, I was mad too that game because the first play of the game where he gets hit and throws the ball wacky, I catch it. And I thought it was an interception, and they talking about it was just a fumble recovery. And I was like, man, I really wanted that pick. I thought it would have been dope to be like, yo, that's my pick right there on Johnny, you know what I'm saying, little Johnny Manziel.
All I want to say.
All these other things you could have talked about.
That's what I'm saying. I was going to bring up the point that I want to apologize that I don't have this nice insight on what the defense did because what I remember from that game was Ben coming in like a baller as the backup, throwing for over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, and it was epic from that standpoint. So I just want to say I apologize. Yeah. I'm starting to get a better perspective on the defense.
And start bringing up negative stuff like that, man. You ripped his helmet off.
It was only brought up to be looked at as a positive.
It's all this other stuff we could have talked about. That's what I'm saying.
But I just told you, my lens is what I remember from that game is the Big Ben coming in off an injury and slinging it on the Browns. That's
all good. All good.
That's what I remember, dude. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Good, I ain't tripping.
I'm sorry.
It's all good, man.
I can go rewatch that game if you want.
No, I ain't even tripping, man.
I have this new defensive lens.
Listen, I'll just send you the clips.
Okay.
There we go. I'll send you a couple clips, man. It will go from there.
Yeah, dude. We have everything covered here.
Yeah, man. It was a good time, man. Good to be back with you, man.
Action-packed podcast there.
Yes, indeed, man. Good to be back with you, man.
It is. So yeah, we gonna wrap it up here?
Yeah, man.
Plug Moats Theory.
Hey, absolutely, man. You already know, man. If you want to cop the book, which a lot of people were speaking very highly of the book on the cruise. Shout out to everybody on the cruise again, man, for copping the book. Definitely appreciate you. But anybody that hasn't got the book just yet, make sure you go to moatstheory.com, man. You can get the Moats Theory of Life book, hardback or paperback. You know, both options. We accommodate, man. Accommodations. If you're feeling a little down, it's the winter blues. You're feeling a little sad.
Nah, dude, it's getting hyped for spring here.
Hey, man,
good weather out here.
Mostly get you right, man. Most of your life, man. Get you right, baby.
Either way, yes. Whatever season man. You're reading it in.
Yes, indeed, man. God to, making you a person of inspiration and impact, baby. So,
yeah, good stuff, man. So we appreciate everyone for tuning in.
And until next time,
peace.